Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Entrefluential Life Podcast. I'm your host, John Tanner, and today we're diving into something every entrepreneur needs to master: resilience and adaptability. As an entrepreneur, you're going to face setbacks, unexpected changes, and challenges that test your limits. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't often comes down to mindset, specifically, your ability to bounce back and adapt. Business isn't a straight line. It's more like a roller coaster. And trust me, I speak from experience. And if you're not prepared for the ups and downs, it's easy to burn out, to give up, or to get stuck in a negative cycle. In this episode, we're going to cover what it really means to have an entrepreneurial mindset, the power of resilience and how to build it, why adaptability is the secret weapon of successful entrepreneurs, real world examples of entrepreneurs who've overcome massive challenges, and practical strategies you can use today to strengthen your mindset. If you're ready to level up your mental game and build the kind of mindset that thrives under pressure, stick with us. Let's get started. All right, let's start with a foundational question. What exactly is entrepreneurial mindset? An entrepreneurial mindset is a way of thinking that embraces opportunity, problem solving, and continuous learning. It's about seeing challenges as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Entrepreneurs don't wait for perfect conditions, they create opportunities. They're proactive, resourceful, and constantly adjusting their approach to find solutions. And here's an important point: entrepreneurial success is 80% mindset and only 20% strategy. You can have the best business plan in the world, but if you lack resilience and adaptability, you'll struggle when things don't go according to plan. So let's break it down. Two of the biggest pillars of the entrepreneurial mindset are resilience and adaptability. Let's start with resilience. Resilience is your ability to bounce back from failure, rejection, and setbacks. It's about mental toughness, your ability to keep going even when things are hard. And let's be real, every entrepreneur will face failure at some point. The question isn't if you'll fail, but how you'll respond when you do. Look at someone like Elon Musk. Before Tesla and SpaceX became what they are today, he went through years of near bankruptcy, failed launches, and public doubt, but he kept going. That's the key. Resilient entrepreneurs don't see failure as the end, they see it as feedback. And if you're wondering how to build resilience, here are three things that you can start doing today. Number one, reframe failure as a learning experience. Every mistake is an opportunity to improve. Number two, develop emotional control. Don't let emotions dictate your decisions. Try to stay level headed. And number three, build a strong support system. You need to surround yourself with mentors, peers, and advisors who can help you navigate through tough times. One of my favorite quotes on resilience is from Thomas Edison. When asked about failing 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that it won't work." I love that. And that's the attitude every entrepreneur needs to cultivate. Now, let's talk about adaptability, because being tough isn't enough. You also need to be flexible. You need to be like a river and just flow. All right. If resilience is about bouncing back, adaptability is about adjusting your strategy and mindset to thrive in changing conditions. And let's face it, the only thing that's constant in life is change. I know it's kind of like an oxymoron, right? But that's the facts. The most successful businesses and entrepreneurs aren't necessarily the strongest, but the most adaptable. Think about Netflix. They started as a DVD rental company, but when streaming became the future, they pivoted. Blockbuster, on the other hand, which I absolutely used to love, did not adapt fast enough, and we all know how that ended. That's why adaptability is so powerful. If you can quickly adjust to market shifts, technological advancements, and unexpected challenges, you'll always stay ahead. So here's the big question: how can entrepreneurs develop adaptability? Here's 3 ways. Number one, stay curious. Constantly seek new information and be open to different perspectives. And just as an aside, being curious is the key to being innovative, which is the key to survive long term in any business. All right. Number two, embrace change. Instead of fearing change, see it as an opportunity to innovate. Be avant garde. Number three, test and iterate. Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. That is a terrible place to be. Try new things, get feedback, and make minor little improvements, because the key is tiny tweaks equal big changes in the long run. All right, here's one more. Let go of perfectionism. And I know, like, listen, I might as well be preaching to the choir, right? I mean, like me, I suffer from perfectionism, and I've really learned to just accept it. Just do it, get it out there. Hey, if you want to revamp it later on, do that, but just get something out there. Sometimes you just have to move forward with an idea and then adjust as you go. Or, like some people say, you got to jump out of the plane and build your parachute on the way down, or build your wings on the way down. There's a couple of different iterations of that saying. And it's so true and applicable here. All right, before we continue, let me just throw up a quick word, commercial advertisement from our sponsor. Starting your own business? Don't wing it. Build it bespoke. The Bespoke Startup Workshop is your step-by-step roadmap to launch smart, save time, and avoid costly mistakes. Designed for first-time founders, this workshop gives you the tools, clarity, and confidence to build a business that fits your lifestyle. Join us today at Entrefluencer.club and get started on your dream plan with a plan that works just for you. The Bespoke Startup Workshop, your business tailored. All right, let's highlight a few entrepreneurs who've embodied resilience and adaptability. One of my favorite, hold on, that thing is looping back. Sorry about that. One of my favorite, and avoid costly mistakes. Stop. Okay, sorry. I'm still learning how to use the StreamYard tools. And so, like, I have my background music and my little commercial that I created for the Bespoke Startup Workshop. And so I was playing that and didn't realize it was still playing after I played it the first time, because it has a little loop feature on there. So I apologize for that. I know I did that before in a previous episode. Just bear with me. Like I said, this is the classic example of what I was just talking, right? I'm actually doing the work and not just preaching it, right? I'm not just saying it, I'm actually doing it. And sometimes you got to just jump in. Even though you don't know all the tools, you don't know how it's going to work, just jump in and get started. You'll make some mistakes, but you'll learn from them as you go, right? Done is better than perfect, because if you wait for perfectionism, you may never get started. So just do it. All right, so back to my next section, which we're talking about a few different entrepreneurs who embodied resilience and adaptability. And I want to tell you about one of my favorite stories is about Sarah Blakely, who is the founder of Spanx. She heard no from so many different manufacturers and investors, but she refused to give up. And today she's a billionaire. That is a billionaire with a B, my friends. Billionaire. Another great example is Steve Jobs. He got fired from Apple, the company that he built. But instead of quitting, he started another company, which eventually led him back to Apple, right? I'm sure you've heard of, I think it's, DreamWorks, that he created. It was one of those animation companies, which I think is fascinating. Anyway, so he created this animation company. It blew up, and then Apple wanted him back, right? So he got to go back and be the CEO of Apple again. Fantastic story. So anyways, and then he was the guy who transformed it into the tech giant that we know of today. And by the way, I've got Apple all over me. I'm using a MacBook Pro, and I've got my iPhone right here. two of them actually. Anyways, those stories prove that setbacks are not the end, but they're often just the beginning of something even greater. So accept these things with resilience and adaptability, my friends. Very two key critical skills that you need to learn in order to be a better entrepreneur. Okay, before we wrap up, let's give our listeners some actionable steps to strengthen their resilience and adaptability. Here are 3 daily practices that you can use to build mental toughness. Number 1, a morning mindset check. I do this every day. I'll be honest, I skip a day every now and then because things happen, but 9 times out of 10, I do this daily morning mindset check. So you start your day with a positive affirmation, right? And then a quick gratitude practice. So I do both of those things. I actually have a list. Let me tell you. I'll just quickly go through my list real quick. Real quick. So I have 2 questions. I ask myself 2 questions, my morning questions. Number 1, what did I do yesterday to achieve success? What did I do that was productive to achieve success? And number 2, what's my next step? Right. So those are my morning questions. And then I have assertive statements that I go through. I have a mental tip of the day. That's my morning positive affirmation, a mental tip of the day. I look at the 7 chakras and I write one down. So like the 7 colors of the rainbow. And so I write one of those down for the day because every 7 days I just recycle the whole list over and over again. And then my morning checkup is I use the 6 high performance habits by Brendan Burchard, which is clarity, energy, necessity, productivity, influence, and courage. And I rate each one of those with a 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest, like an A, and a 1 being the lowest, like an F. And usually I'll generally hit somewhere between 3, 4, and 5 on all of these. So, and then I have my to-do list, right? Which is my next thing. I write down 3 things that I got to do for the day. And the very first thing on my to-do list, I always write down the same thing. I write start the day with gratitude. And I either, at the beginning of the week, I'll use clarity because I need to know what I'm going to do for the whole week. And then every other day, Tuesday through Saturday, I write down focus. So start the day with gratitude and focus. And then when I pause to think about gratitude, I think about what am I thankful for? Because gratitude is the highest frequency that you can emit. So I start with being thankful. I'm thankful for the gift of life. I'm thankful that God gave me this gift of life and all of the things that I have. So that's where I start. I start with that, being thankful to God for the gift of life, right? So you can do the same thing too. So start with your positive affirmation, with a quick gratitude practice. And then let's move on to number 2. Your second thing that you can do is you can work on your physical resilience. So the second thing that I do after my morning routine is I go to the gym 6 days a week. So like as soon as I'm done recording this podcast, for instance, I'm going to my gym and I'm going to do my B-day workout. So exercise and proper nutrition will help your brain handle stress a whole lot better, right? You got to get those serotonin chemicals released from your brain so that you can be more relaxed and more agile and eat good. I do struggle with the eating part because I love sweets, and I know I need to cut that back. And if I did, I'd have be working closer towards 6-pack abs, which I've never had in my life. I would love to have 6-pack abs. And so yeah, anyway, you just keep working out, right? Like going back to what we were talking about earlier, just get started, just do something, even though if it's not perfect, just do something. So I work out 6 days a week, and you should too. I don't know, maybe start off with 3 days if you're just getting started with a new physical routine. But you got that. So you have the morning mental mindset, the physical resilience, and the third thing that you can do is controlled exposure to discomfort. Push yourself outside of your comfort zone daily in small ways. Okay, what is that? I don't know. Maybe that's making a cold call. That's one of the things I struggle with. I'm like, oh, but I'm going to do like an automated phone dial thing, like Slide Broadcast, for instance, right? But maybe I should pick up the phone. I got to take my own medicine on that one. But do something that's a slightly outside of your comfort zone so that you can start building your resilience, okay, and mental toughness. All right, so here's 3 more practices that you can do to increase your adaptability. Read and learn constantly. This is one of my favorites. The more knowledge you have, the easier it is to pivot. Why? Because you're adding all of this ammunition, right? All of this fuel into your subconscious mind that you can pull from in situations where you need to adapt, where you need to pivot. So the more information you have, the more intel you have, the more able you are to respond in creative ways. All right. Fantastic, fantastic information there. Number two, surround yourself with diverse thinkers by engaging with people who will challenge your ideas. So if you don't have that kind of people or those kind of people around you, find them. Join some kind of a networking group where you can mingle and connect with people who are creative thinkers, the doers. You've got to be around those kind of people so that it can rub off on you. And lastly, develop a bias for action. Instead of overthinking, take small steps forward. Why? Because of analysis paralysis. The more you think and get stuck in your thoughts and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and not doing, thinking doesn't put money in your pocket. Okay. You got to get out there and take action. And that way you can make some deals happen, put money in your pocket, you reinvest it to grow and see what's the next level, reaching towards the sky. You got to level up. And so just start developing a bias for taking action. Become action oriented, and it's going to make an impact. Even small little tiny tweaks towards taking action steps are going to stack up, my friends. Stack up the action. That's is one of the other, like, I love the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, but what's missing in the title is think and then take action and you'll grow rich. You got to have both. It's not one or the other. Thinking is 50%. That's planning, strategy. And then the other 50% is taking action, my friends. All right, my friends, that is going to wrap us up. And I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Resilience and adaptability are like muscles. The more you train them, the stronger they get. If you want to be more successful in business, mastering these two skills is non-negotiable. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a fellow entrepreneur who needs a mindset boost. And don't forget to subscribe and follow us for more episodes on business, mindset, and growth. This is our last episode of season 4. Until we come back next time for season 5, keep pushing forward, keep adapting, and keep living the entrefluential life. Take care, my friends. Bye for now.